There is a brand new action thriller on Prime Video. It's called G20, and it is a real throwback to the action movies of the 80s and 90s. This one stars Viola Davis as the President of the United States, only she is an ass-kicking president like Harrison Ford in Air Force One. Get off my fucking plane. Does he say fucking? I don't think he curses.
I don't think he does. Come on.
No, he doesn't.
Harrison Ford is the president, is not going to swear.
Get the hell off my plane. That's right. So, in G20, we meet Viola Davis's president, Danielle Sutton, and she is about to head to a G20 summit in South Africa, where she has a proposal that is going to change the financial world and how rich and poor countries interact with one another. She is, of course, facing some obstacles with the other world leaders, and she's heading to the G20 to try and sort it all out. In the meantime, Homelander, or Anthony Starr, plays an ex-military, AI-obsessed crypto bro, very prescient. He is a terrorist that has beef with the United States and other G20 countries, and he wants to blow shit up. He also wants to steal a lot of money while he does it using crypto. That's pretty much it. The rest of the movie is Die Hard meets Air Force One at the G20 summit in South Africa. I really had a blast watching this because this was the kind of movie I watched growing up. Constant, steady diet of this sort of movie.
Right.
Not all of them were great. Some of them were terrible. But this felt like a real throwback. What I enjoyed about this movie was, I think there was a real attention to detail, which a lot of these streaming action throwaway movies miss. Like, I can see the elevator pitch. Oh, look, it's a black president who can kick ass. But what G20 does very well within the first few minutes of the film is make you believe that this individual could actually be elected as president of the United States. Like, I was recently watching The Residents on Netflix, and that features a gay president of the United States. And 2 episodes in, I'm thinking to myself, wait, if I'm looking at the American electorate, there is no way they're going to vote for this individual. A gay candidate is hard enough, let alone someone who successfully gets through the campaign period and becomes president. And in this movie, I think there is a single image, a magazine cover, that tells you everything you need to know about why Danielle Sutton would have been voted president of the United States despite being black and a woman. And that kind of attention to detail I appreciate, because a lot of the time, writers and directors would just not pay any attention to it. They just expect you to suspend disbelief because, hey, it's an action movie. We just want to see Viola Davis kick ass. And she does. And it's a tight hour 40 minutes, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I had fun.
I don't know if I really enjoyed this.
If it was playing in the background, I'd watch it again. Like, I'd just go, oh, wow, it's on? Like, I mean, that never happens, obviously.
That never happens in this day and age.
But, you know, back in the day, if I flipped on HBO and it was just playing in Astro, I'd be like, oh, I remember this movie. I'll sit down for a while.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the perfect use case for this. I mean, look, it's not a bad film. It isn't a Netflix action movie. But I feel like this isn't a serious movie lah.
But I don't think it's meant to be, right?
Oh, no, I know it's not meant to be. And I'm just trying to manage expectations. And I wasn't going into this expecting a serious movie either. But this isn't going to break into the pantheon of Air Force One, Die Hard, even some of the lesser Die Hards.
It's better than the lesser Die Hards. The lesser Die Hards are really bad, dude.
It's probably better than 3 and 4.
Yes.
Die Harder and Die Hardest or whatever it is.
4 was the one with his son, right?
Yes, in Russia.
Yeah, okay.
God. But no, I agree with you in that this was fun. It was fun enough. There was enough earnestness in this to take it all the way. It definitely kept me engaged enough for the 110 minutes, 108-minute runtime.
It also plays out like Die Hard and Air Force One in that it is a locked room situation.
Yes.
They're stuck at this very luxurious, high-end, secure hotel in South Africa. And so They have to work within that space. And I quite enjoyed all of the attention to detail that went into working within that space. I thought all of that worked well. I thought the relationships between Viola Davis and her Secret Service handler, between her and her husband and her children, were drawn really well, in that it had all of those elements of an 80s action movie, but it didn't feel as cheesy. Like, I wasn't annoyed that there were kids in this one. Because normally, all of these 80s action movies, not even 80s action movies. Why do they have kids in every fucking Jurassic Park movie? I get it. But after the first one, shouldn't you be like, oh shit, things went really badly. Let's keep the kids out of this.
I mean, other than the ones where the park was actually open, there is a real shoehorning of children into this adventure with dinosaurs.
She snuck onto the plane.
Yeah. I'm just like, maybe you do a better job. Yeah.
Yeah. And that always frustrates me, because that feels like, oh, we need to get all 4 quadrants, so we should have some kids in this doing cool stuff. But in this one, it kind of works, because they're terrified. They're not sure what they're doing. They ain't superheroes, but they do help in their own way.
This checks enough boxes for me to not be completely annoyed and angry, right? I was able to get through the 110 minutes in one go without having to pause, without looking for excuses to press pause. Viola Davis is Viola Davis. She knocks it out of the park constantly. I want to say a particular congratulations to Anthony Starr being just the most snidey of Kiwi/Australian villain.
He is
completely
deliciously evil.
Deliciously evil.
He's also a villain we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it.
He's just shy of mustache twirling.
Yeah. We've seen The Amateur. We saw the new Jason Statham movie. We saw Novocaine. There are all of these big bads in all of those movies. But no one is like this. There are mafia henchmen. There are thieves. There are terrorist heads of organizations and mercenaries. Sure, they're all fine. They're doing shit for money, or the love of money, or the want of money. But the way Anthony Starr plays this guy, it is bordering on evil scientists wanting to take over the world.
Yeah.
It's maniacal. Like, that was the kind of shit we used to get back in the day, and we don't get that anymore.
But I also feel like, I don't know if Anthony Starr actually knows what's going on with the deep fakes. Like his character feels like the guy that just went, hey, we can do this deep fake shit now, right? And then somebody else figures out the problem. He's big picture guy. And I'm not blaming the writing, and I'm not saying that that's a bad decision to have made, but I found it really quite curious that the Anthony Starr villain character isn't like Rami Malek's James Bond character.
Yes.
He isn't a Bond villain who knows these things inside. He's not, what's his name, who was trying to control the weather from James Bond. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not like he knows what he's doing. He just knows the big picture. You've got this AI stuff. You've got this deep fake stuff. We can do it.
Like, these streaming action movies are a dime a dozen. But for me, this is what I want it to be. In that, I want this kind of attention to detail. I want some kind of a new concept. I want something fun. I mean, in this case, the new concept is the whole AI deepfake thing, which is quite terrifying because it's actually real. And people can actually do that stuff. And it's actually very easy. Like, you and I could pay $9.99 a month and have total access to the technology that can make Donald Trump say some weird shit on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary. And of course, there is a little bit of sly commentary on media and the public reaction to these things. But most of all, it really works because of Viola Davis. I'm excited at the fact that she is doing a movie like this. I think when you reach her stage in life, everyone expects you to do serious cinema. And like you said, Bahir, this is not a serious movie. But there was enough in it to convince her to do this. And she is 59 years old, and she can do some of the shit. And what's nice about it is that you can see her struggle to do some of the shit. Because she plays an ex-military person, and she plays an aging military person. And even she is constantly told, maybe you can't do all of this stuff. And I think all of that comes through, and I appreciate that character work even in an unserious action movie like this one. And so for me, it was that attention that made this work. And I say a dime a dozen because, there's always some movie with The Rock or Jamie Foxx.
You know what it is as well? And this could be sexist, but the men are always portrayed as someone who can do these things.
Like it's no problem, right?
Yeah. Like what? Morgan Freeman? Of course he knows how to fire a gun and fire it well. It's like, maybe not necessarily. And I think
Yes.
I like that, like you said, Viola Davis's president has to, I guess this is sexist, but she has to constantly prove herself. She has to constantly prove that, yeah, she's got a bad knee, but she can still kick your ass like Captain America in an elevator.
To be fair, she kind of comments on that as well. When she's telling off her daughter early in the movie, she's like, you know what I have to do. You know how good I have to be here, right?
Yeah.
For me, a very good contrast is that recent Jamie Foxx Cameron Diaz movie.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's cut from the same cloth because it's supposed to be this A-list led streaming action thriller with a little bit of comedy thrown in for good measure because it's Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz. But nothing felt believable in that. The chemistry between the leads didn't feel believable. The jokes felt like they were written 10 years ago. The action was a little boring and lame. None of it was choreographed particularly well. It didn't feel like the actors could actually pull off what they were supposed to pull off. The kids were annoying. They had kids in that one, and the kids were annoying. And all of it boils down to like bad writing and just slipshod production work because they had this elevator pitch that they wanted to push out on Netflix because, hey, the return of Cameron Diaz is surely going to buy us enough clicks. I'm glad that G20 didn't go down that route. I'm glad that director Patricia Riggin put some real work into it. I'm glad that this thing was shot on location in an actual place as opposed to a giant studio with a green screen.
You can really tell the difference.
Right? And all of these things play a part in making this one just stand out a little more from the rest. But like you said, Bahir, it is not peak action cinema, but I think it is the best that we've seen come out of the streaming world in a very long time.
It's like, I know for a fact, and this isn't saying much because it's me, but I know for a fact I'll forget having seen this film in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a commentary on the fact that we get so much content now, or so much good content, that something like this, which is serviceable, will be forgotten.
But that said, if 6 weeks from now, someone came to you and went, hey, I saw this G20 thing on Prime Video, I'd be like, yeah, watch it, it's fun.
I think so, yeah.
It's a thing to put on a Saturday night, you know what I mean? Let us know what you think once you've seen G20. You know how to reach out. We're on Instagram on GogglerMY. You can also email us on podcast@goggler.my. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Goggler Podcast.